Hello world, it's Eire, back with more Persona 3 Reload! Yes, there we go. Man, I had to take just a quick second to get back into the energy thing. Things.
Hello, this is
I got a lot to talk about, man. I really do. First off, I've been getting a lot of good reception lately when it comes to making these videos. Things have been popping off really well, surprisingly. So much so that over the course of this channel's history, I've officially hit 500 views and 20 subscribers, and I'm going to be making a special little video for that 20 subscribers, here after this batch of Persona. I'm really happy. I'm happy with how far we've gone on this. Now, man, I do have a bit to talk about here, you know. Life-wise, nothing too interesting, but I do want to talk about one comment I got in my last video, episode 25, Battle Tendencies. The GOAT, the absolute champ, Help I Have Bats 6392, has shown up once again. Man, I don't care that your comment is, you know, formulated like an essay, if it's like too long or whatever, dude. This is perfect. I love it when I get comments that actually, like, really get in detail and explain stuff to me, especially when, like, I asked a question and you clearly followed up with a really good answer. You actually helped me understand a big part of this game's math. I'm just impressed. Another shout out to Help I Have Bad 6392. Man, going in depth like that by describing the severe, like, that word, specifically, severe. Describing that in the context of the Theurgy, by talking about the formula using both the strength and magic stat, which lets you deal more damage than what's, you know, like, let on. I like that you explained that, because I did not know that. I don't know the in-game formulas that well. That's just really cool. And then explaining your personal experience with this and how it affects things has actually encouraged me to come up with a personal set of rules to follow whenever this batch of videos is done. That way I can actually make this entertaining for myself and for my viewers. Thank you. I have a couple conditions. One, I have to use every Theurgy at least once. At least one time. I can only use it in times where I am struggling or on floor bosses. Full moon operations do not count unless I absolutely have to use it. Wow! By setting this up, by actually talking about this, you know, in a way that's, like, so interesting, that's cool to me. And then you came up, you top it off with something even better. You said, hey, I would like it better if there was actually some sort of drawback to it. And then listing the drawback! That is genius! I haven't seen YouTube comments, like, actually go that detailed on any video in so long. I want to encourage this kind of talk. If, like, I ask a question and I genuinely don't know something, feel free to talk about it like this. It's genuinely fun. I like reading through it. I like understanding it. I like getting closer, like, as a person to the information that's given to me, the people, my viewers, whatever, right? Wow! I really respect the amount of dedication that you put into it. Like, that was amazing to me. Just, man! I'm stumbling over my words here, man! It's a big deal. It really is. Thank you so much for that comment, and I'm glad I could talk about it, and talk about you yet again on this channel. Seriously. I'm just impressed. What I want to encourage as a YouTuber, when it comes to, like, oh yeah, you know, going back to, like, this classic concepts of, like, old playthroughs, old speed paints, old styles of, like, different things, older YouTube that isn't, like, you know, over-the-top editing or whatever, I don't know. Point is, when I want to do something like this, specifically, this style, right? I want to heavily encourage this kind of conversation, this sort of nerd talk where we can all, like, come together and talk about these things. We get to really, like, share in, like, our knowledge, in our opinions. We get to, like, actually talk things out. Nobody's, like, wrong. Everybody's, got their own opinions going on. I like encouraging kind of a, not a safe space, but really just a zone where we're free to share, discuss, and, like, really figure things out, but also just, like, share in the fun that is just being, like, a total geek, being a nerd, being the person that you are. Like, sharing and enjoying and indulging in your interests. I want to encourage that heavily. Wow! That comment gave me a lot to think about in terms of, like, where I want to take things. So, thank you, man! I get comments, like, all the time from, like, my best buddy, David. You've seen him show up. He's got the 3 comments every time, and they're always just a blast to read. You've seen a couple comments that were talking about Carmageddon 2 during that video, potentially. And that was actually my father, who is way better at understanding the game than I am, because he called me later, and he was like, dude, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm learning so much stuff, just from all these different locations and places and people. I'm able to really, like, take things in. Like... Wow! Overall, I'm impressed with how... this channel has grown, but also how I've started to grow and started to really understand and, like, encourage things. Especially like this. Like... I don't have a Discord, like, server for my channel. I don't think I will for quite a while. I don't have a Twitch channel, that much is obvious, because I am very uncomfortable with live streaming. But man, like, in the future, eventually, I do want to get on that level where I could just be there for everything. Like, wow! Overall... I've said overall again! Yeah, take a shot! It's been like 2 videos, I think, right? Has it been 2? 3? 2? 1. I've probably said it last episode. Damn, I lost. Okay, cool. Ooh, man. I just have to take a minute here. Wow. I like talking about, like, what I want to try and do, and, like, all this time, like, back before YouTube, like, evolved into the way it is today, and, like, all this stuff. I don't hate it this way, but I feel like that old way is so nostalgic to me. It's so, like, it's how I grew up. It's literally what I grew up with, and I want to try and bring some of it back in some form. And nowadays, we're being, you know, flooded with, like, video essays and, like, drama reports and news channels and people just, like, doing anything, really. Like, I love the variety. But eventually you get, like, you know, you watch one video essay and eventually it becomes, like, 4 million different video essays that are all about the same topic, and it gets kind of insane. Ah, man. Then again, the playthrough channels like that, the gameplay channels, you know, they play the recent game, they play this, they play that, you know, it's like, everyone falls into stereotypical trends, and it's something that, like, kind of bugs me, because then the platform gets flooded with this trend, and you can't really stop it, because... who's stopping you? I'm playing Persona right now. Like, that's a trend in itself. That was a trend during, like, literally all of February and March. Like, end of discussion there. And it's probably gonna pick up another trend one more time because of the DLC coming out in, like, what? Like 6 days? 7 days? I'm just saying, I'm not exactly innocent of that problem either. Oh, man. Oh, wow. I gotta say, like... overall, like, starting out with this, like, amount of commentary, this amount of talking, this early in the video, gives me, like, such a good feeling, like, good energy, like, I could really lean into it and embrace it, and, like, you know, actually develop a personality that, like, I keep thinking isn't there. It's there! I'm doing it right now! That's what I'm trying here. Ah, man. Ooh. I gotta say, there is a lot of things I want to do. okay? There really is. Simple as that. I've talked about it. I've said speed paints, I've said commentary, I've said video essays, I've said character analysis, I've said all this stuff. But right now, I like sticking with this. This has been, like, my bread and butter. Commentary over gameplay, and, like, me talking about the game, and doing anything I can. This is fun to me. I want to thank you all 20 of my subscribers, all the people that have watched my videos, no matter how many times they did it. I want to thank, like, literally the impression system in YouTube, you know, for just mentioning my videos existing at any point in time. I want to thank all of those, all the people out there, and oddly enough, the YouTube algorithm, because that's pretty funny to thank. But, like, seriously, thank you. I'm just starting out, but I'm having a good time. It's made me happy. Oh, man. We're back in Tartarus again. These next episodes are gonna be heavy on Tartarus, but also, sadly, I have to also backtrack a little bit on my statement about the comments. I am sorry, but I did end up using Theurgies a lot before I established the set of rules for myself. This amount of time that I recorded, right? The batch, right? This was all made like maybe a week ago during my break. So naturally, I was spamming Theurgies like to death. I really was. Before I ever even thought of these rules and thought of like the genuine opinion of them. I liked just understanding that portion of things. So now, anytime I play Persona 3 Reload after this point, those rules are going to apply. It's a thing that's, like, more considerate to the viewers so they don't have to watch the same cutscene over and over and over again, even though they do that all the time with all-out attacks, and I could probably turn that setting off to make it easier, but frankly, they're just kind of too cool. And, I forget to change settings, that's really it. Now, let's talk Theurgies for a bit. Oh, I had a soul fortune today. Theurgy drive is up a bit faster. Now, every character has a Theurgy. This basically they have the cartridge that enables the actions to be done next, right? Makoto's got his. Oh, Minato, the protagonist, has his. Yukari has hers. Mitsuru has hers. Akihiko has his. Fuck. Oh, man. And Junpei has one, and Fuka has one. These are all important to remember, okay? They only happen under specific circumstances. All right. To charge it, you need to play into how the character is built to function, which is really a really cool idea, as it helps newer players understand what kind of build the character is and what was intended. But it also does kind of force a build to happen, which, I get it, it's a JRPG, that's normal. But also, I kinda, like, call me crazy, but I like experimenting a little. I like having fun with things and just testing things out and seeing them work or fail. I'm not, like, you know, big on it. I'm not, like, innovating the next big thing. But, like, I like testing things out and seeing where it leads. I love it. You know, it's a me thing that works personally. Now, each character has their own trait that they have to play into, okay? That's a very important fact that you can easily read whenever you check the Theurgy screen. There's a little thing in the bottom left, and that says personality. That little personality thing is how you're supposed to play the character. For example, Yukari is very, like, big on healing. So when you heal others, the gauge actually charges. That's it's a pretty cool thing right there. I got a Persona just a second ago, and I want to talk about it. What? There it is, Garulu. That's the name I was looking for. Oh, man. I can't believe it took that long to find it, because I read it as Garula, which is a completely different thing. So, sorry. Garulu is from Sri Lankan mythology, Hindu, and Buddhist mythology. That's pretty cool. I love that. And they are a part of the Moon Arcana in this game. Garulu, previously named as Gur, honestly kind of a funny name. Garulu, or Gur Yaksha, is an evil and carnivorous giant eagle that feeds on flesh that appears in Sri Lankan Buddhism. Wow, that's a combination thing there. That's pretty cool. It is widely believed that Garulu is a demonization of the Hindu lesser deity Garuda, as Sri Lankan Buddhism and Hinduism have been at odds in the past, which is reflected in Garulu's Soul Hackers design. Soul Hackers is a game also by Atlas, and a lot of things carry over between those games. That's really cool to learn. That was actually pretty neat. I didn't expect, like, a combination of mythologies. Like, usually it's, like, separate mythologies where it appears, right? But, like, this one was, like, a combo of Sri Lankan Buddhism. That's really cool. I love it. That's really neat. And also having ties to Hinduism, too, is, like, even better. Oh. Now, one thing I learned is that whenever Yukari heals in the menu, that doesn't charge the gauge at all. You have to be in battle for these things to work. That's, like, kind of a neat little balance thing to it. I'll be honest, Theurgies, after really playing around with them in these, in this batch of videos, and also, thanks to the comment, yeah, they are kind of stupidly unbalanced. It's kind of a pain. I'll admit it. It's a bit much. It really is. Man. Wow. Okay, man. Sorry, I'm lost in the sauce here. Whew. Lost in the... I actually said that. I'm disappointed in myself a little bit. Okay. Every character has, like, their Theurgy requirement, okay? For the protagonist, you have to be summoning a persona. Now, what this means is that you have to constantly swap between personas, or after summoning your persona, the power gradually enhances. So it comes up, like, every once in a while. Me personally, I think it's when you switch from them, but I'm not entirely sure. It specifically says when you summon. So I think that's the main, like, big requirement there, is you have to summon them. Yukari's is after healing someone. Junpei's is actually after landing a critical hit. That is a really unique condition, and that was actually kind of a good way to balance out a Theurgy. But also, Theurgies are already kind of busted, and you could just build them up to do critical hits a lot. You know, it's not great. Mitsuru is specifically after weakening enemies or inflicting an ailment on an enemy. So, Marin Karin is extremely necessary. Or you could always do the stat lowering option, which is just probably the better and safer option. Well, not better, but it's probably the safer option. And Akihiko's is specifically from strengthening himself, which includes stat buffs. He has to use stat buffs on himself from his persona, which makes sense for the build, but also, like, I don't know, it's kind of debatable on that. Fuka's, specifically, is after analyzing an enemy, where it buffs up the gauge. That's kind of neat, because you have to balance out how many times you analyze enemies with her limited SP, but it also builds the gauge, and the gauge can recover a lot of things, specifically for your party members. I'll get into the actual details of what these things do. Most likely you've seen them on the screen. But it's a mix. You know, it's something that's, Fuka's is a mix. That's pretty much what I'll say. Ooh, man. Also, this is like one of the few times I've used slime. So, congrats, slime, you're used. You're used, I think, mostly. For how much I love D&D, I really don't use one of the only D&D, like, not enemies, ooh, One of the only Dungeons & Dragons inspired personas in this series. I rarely use him. That's what I was trying to get at. I'm terrible at talking sometimes. You know this by now. Whew, man. I just gotta breathe for a second because I've been talking like a lot here. A lot more than normal, I should say. Even though I talk like pretty much the whole time during my videos, I'm talking a lot at a pretty fast pace. And that can be a lot to deal with. I should slow down a little bit. Potentially. But I probably won't, because this is kind of how I do things. I don't know. I'm still getting used to the whole being a YouTuber thing, even if this is still literally just a hobby. Wait, is this like the thing that happened when I was playing earlier? Okay, no, I did hit him. Okay. I was thinking of the time where I tried to hit a rare shadow and kept missing on him. I think that was like like a couple episodes ago? Like, maybe 22? I don't remember exactly much. I think maybe it's one of the future episodes that that exact event happens. Whew. There we go. I gotta really like pop my fingers sometimes, and I don't know if my finger popping actually shows up in the recordings. I really don't know. I don't know if my mic has like that auto sense thing that just kind of like doesn't detect noise, but like maybe here we'll just, you know, why not? We're gonna pop our knuckles, I guess. Yeah, that's a sound. I don't know if it ever showed up in the audio, but I popped him right next to the mic. There you go, you got knuckle popping ASMR in your Persona video. Oh, man. You know, it's actually like a hot take I have. I just don't, I have no interest in ASMR videos. Like, I don't feel anything from them. I can't feel angry, I can't feel happy. Like, good job, you're making an ASMR video, I guess. But I really don't care. I don't know. ASMR to me, like, as a video thing, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, in concept to me, I guess, you know? I just don't really see the appeal of it, because I'm not that, like, into, like, the up close to the mic or soft noise kind of thing, or, like, the voice. I'm just not into any of that. You can tell, like, I'm very into just being a geek, and I'd prefer to watch, like, literally any gameplay video ever. Like, except for maybe, like, a terrible game, I don't know. Terrible games exist. You've probably seen in the news that they do exist. We can thank, yeah, we can thank, Concord for that, man. Actually, yeah, I was gonna talk about some, like, real-world stuff last episode, instead of just, like, you know, the game, I guess. But now I have, like, the free time to do that. I need to talk for a second here about this. Concord, this game, I have not touched it. Why? I'm not interested in hero shooters pretty much at all, okay? I am not paying $40 for it. I hold no interest in it. Everything to me kind of just blends together. I was not interested in it whatsoever. So hearing that it didn't even last 2 weeks, 2 weeks, it didn't even make it. So much so that they are fully refunding the games. Wow! That's insane to me. I'm very, like, it's not often a company actually refunds you for something that, you know, they put out. That's just really the case. That's it. That's it. That's it right there. That's the thing. But no, that's just insane to me. The game couldn't even make it 2 weeks. That's crazy, right? And then you just have, like, other games on top of that. I'll talk more about that after I get into the new Persona we just got, Tamlin. Tamlin is from English and Scottish mythology. Already a good start. I'm actually a very big fan of, like, Scottish or Irish mythology, so seeing something Scottish is, like, kind of cool, you know? I'm not really a mythology kind of person, but seeing, like, the stuff pop up is pretty nice. Anyway, Tamlin is a famous fairy who is said to haunt the, Carterhaugh Woods. Yeah, Carterhaugh. That's how you pronounce it. Carterhaugh Woods in Scotland. He supposedly lured young women away to ruin them. Oh god. He was once a human who had been trapped by the fairy queen. Okay. There we go, we're getting connections here. A young woman named Janet is said to have fallen in love with him at one point and finally managed to free him. Well, okay. Terrible story, but we got there. Good, somewhat decent ending, I guess. we're getting somewhere. Ah, man. Anyway, like, the other game I guess I wanted to talk about, like, real-world news. Dustborn, that game. I know nothing about this game at all. And I think I maybe saw, like, one trailer for it, so I have no idea how people, like, were hearing about this game so many times. I have no idea. Like, I heard all the stuff online about it, I heard about the devs going kind of crazy with it. I can't do anything with that. I can't interact with that, I'm not interested in it, again. It's very, like, it's kind of difficult to, like, pique my interest when it comes to a game, especially if it's a newer one that's coming out. You gotta really, like, appeal to something, you gotta hit the right note to make me say, this is the game I'm gonna be playing, you know? Like, this is the time this is the game I'm going to commit my time to. That is, like, a thing. Oh, we're actually using Fuka's Theurgy, which can do a variety of effects, but for the most part, if you use it first turn and everyone's at pretty full health, it does full-on stat buffs. Like, stat buffs on every part. And it's also funnier when you consider the fact that you could just spam Theurgies multiple times in a row, which, looking back at this footage and, like, remembering exactly what I did, it's easy to see that Theurgies, as a whole, were kind of busted. I think a good, like, thing that could balance out Theurgies is if only you could use one per turn. That would make sense, like, you could charge them and hold on to them, but, like, one per turn is, like, pretty much all you need for, like, a massive buff in damage, you know? That's all you need. It's not a big, like, thing, you know? Anyway, like, whatever. Dustborn is a game, I don't care for it, and frankly, I've heard so much about it that I just, like, I don't quite understand where the game was even going in the first place. I don't understand the purpose. Frankly, if you want, like, a good, like, sort of, I'm not gonna say, like, political or, like, semi-political game, but if you just want a good game that, like, that just, like, I don't know. To me here, the game that is just Dustborn done right and better and, like, all this other junk, and not kind of annoying and stupid, is Hi-Fi Rush. I've mentioned Hi-Fi Rush before. David got me into it, and I was hooked. It's a great game. I'll play it at some point on this channel. Hi-Fi Rush is just way better. It's a higher quality game. It interested me. It piqued my interest. It did a good job. Man. Now I actually want to play Hi-Fi Rush. Like, I really do. That game is kind of like, I need to play it again for the music. Also, that's a good thing to, like, that's a good place to, like, really hit me. I love music. I love the music in games, especially if it's either original compositions or use of pop culture. I love both of these things. That's just my personal take. Like, Shrek does pop culture, but, like, the music being done pop culture. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with this. I like music when it's either a pop culture reference, but it's used effectively, like playing in the background and it suits the scene and all that stuff, right? Or an original composition that, like, really gets its point. Like, it's good. This is why I really love the Persona soundtrack, is it's all, like, original, or, like, in the case of Persona 3 Reload, a lot of remakes from the older games, but you also have the newer tracks. I love all of these. They're really good songs. There is not a single one, like, there's not a single song in this entire game that, like, falls off. They're all great. That's a good way to really, like, keep me invested, is sound. No. Like, just put music in my ears. It's gonna keep me there a while longer, you know? Oh, man. I really talked a lot during this episode. And I still got like 10 minutes to go. That's impressive. I gotta keep going here. I'm on a roll. Man. One thing I actually talked about, like, at a previous point in time, I do have, like, a cheap capture card, and I could hook up my old, like, Nintendo consoles and play and stream, like, Nintendo games. I could do that, if the music doesn't get me, like, a copyright strike. I hope not. That would suck. But I could play, like, you know, Switch games, Wii U games, Wii games. I could do that. I love that. That's just a me thing. Actually, no, I'll eventually talk about this at some point in a different video, but I'm not going to go too in-depth here, okay? Simply put, I think the Wii U is a very underrated console. It's a really good console, and I think it did the Switch thing better than the Switch does. That's my opinion. Like, I'm leaving it at that. I'll describe it more at a later date as to, like, why I have this take. I think a lot of people agree with me on that, though. Like, I've heard a lot of, like, feedback, like, especially, like, a few years after the Switch was, like, fully out, right? They were like, yeah, the Wii U was really, like, underrated. It kind of got hit hard. Really hard, for some reason. I feel bad. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about that anymore. That's a topic for another day, because that'd be a fun thing to talk about. Wow. Man. I just can't come up with a lot to say at this current moment, because I really talked through, like, so much. I'm impressed with myself, actually. That was pretty good. Man. I wonder if there's, like, anything, like, special I could do, you know? Just, in general, like, video-wise, you know, I could come up with a special, right? I just gotta keep formulating? I gotta keep formulating and making ideas. Formulating. I'm gonna die for that one, I'm sorry. Bam. I lost my focus for a second there. I'm here, I swear. Oh my.
That certainly went well.
Over the course of the next few episodes, like I did earlier with, well, both of the personas I picked up, I am going to be talking more about the personas I pick up, you know, because that's the thing I promised to do. I promised to give, like, a small little, section, a little chapter, look into them. I promise that, and I'll do it, you know. You're going to be expecting a lot of this from the next few episodes, which are, you know, almost entirely Tartarus-based. It's a normal thing to expect. Punch him! Punch him hard! Hit him with something! Yeah. Wait, actually, did I use this? Oh, I did, that's right, because I wanted to see what his Theurgy looked like. And honestly, this is kind of cool. The Theurgies are very cinematic and cool looking, and I love it. And, you know, some stick around maybe a little bit too long. You know, they really wear their welcome just a little bit. But it's not, like, game-breaking. It doesn't take, like, 5 minutes to get through it, you know? Yeah. It's not, like, annoying visually. It's just, like, occasionally it's just like, okay, I'd like to skip this. I'd like the setting to skip this. And there's the setting right there, and I don't change it. I just don't do it. I swear, I'm just kind of stupid sometimes when it comes to that aspect of things. I do really like the Theurgies, like, in concept. I really do. I like what they were intending. I like the fact that, again, mentioning back to the comment from last video, I like that it was explained to me, like, why, on, like, kind of a psychological and, like, gameplay level, oddly enough, why they work. Like, again, thank you for the comment. I said that, like, 4 times in this video, haven't I? I have. Yeah, whatever. Just give the man credit! Oh, man. But, like, I like that that comment, like, actually described to me, like, a psychological and, like, gameplay, like, based reason for why these work. Thank you. Like, I appreciate that. I appreciate knowing that. But then now, like, I can actually come to a deeper understanding of, like, oh yeah, the game does kind of trick you into playing into their builds. And that's a good thing. That's what JRPGs are, like, kind of used to doing. Oh yeah, the Empress and Emperor Arcana cards. Yeah, they buff up stats, which is absolutely amazing. I love it.
Good teamwork, everyone. Now on to the next.
We found the stairs. Let's go.
Yeah. I'm still obviously impressed. Honestly, no. Ever since I saw that comment, like, literally this morning, okay, I have been, like, clocking my brain to really, like, think of things, right? Like, I've been really working it, okay? And, like, I love this comment, you know? It hits in a way that, like, it hits in a way that I love. It really does work. I was pretty much thinking about, like, all day, like, you know, making this video and dedicating time to, like, talking about Theurgies, like, kinda my take on them, but also bringing up, like, all these amazing points that were made in this one comment. Like, because it's that, like, important. It's, like, that pivotal. It actually, like, decided, like, a major topic of this video. It really did. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect! I can use words! Jack-o'-lantern, please save me from being dumb. Please. I guess, you know what? Yeah. I've got, like, a good question I can ask in this video. Especially now that we're closer to the end, right? What is a hot take that you have specifically for this first section? What I mean by that is that all of Persona 3, FES, like, okay, your choice. Persona 3, FES, like, Portable, or Reload. What is your hot take about everything from the start of the game to, like, the Emperor and Empress, shadow bosses? Full Moon Operation. Like, to that point. Any hot take can be listed as long as it's, like, within that time frame. You can choose whether or not you want to discuss that whole beginning part, I'd say. But any hot take from any point in time in that area, I am 100% open to hearing any conversation about. I'm all in on this. There's a point early in most channels, in most YouTube channels, where they're able to interact with comments, like, on such, like, a personal and, like, normal, like, person-to-person level, you know? But eventually, as it grows bigger, people stop doing that because they realize they can't interact with everyone. Markiplier had, like, this same problem, and he admits, like, it's a very sad moment. I want to, like, have a personal connection with my audience by asking these questions and talking things through and, like, learning. I want to learn and figure out things with people. I've been Eire. You've been watching the Saturn's Edge Persona 3 Reload series. Man, I can words. Whew. This has been episode 26. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you around in the next episode. Bye!